This is Singles Chat. We're back again for episode 10. And I like to start us off with some prayer. Matthew, would you like to pray us in?
I sure can. So, Lord, we thank you for our talk that we're going to have in this episode and the episodes to come. Season our words with love and with accuracy and with a commitment to honoring you. In Jesus' name, amen.
So, today we are talking about the wait. As single people, obviously, you don't just wake up one day and get married. There's a process, there's a timeline that things happen. And so I just wanted to kind of get you guys' thoughts on your waiting process as a single, and what has been the most exciting thing for you. What do you think are the benefits and the pros about your singleness and this waiting time period? And also, what would you say is the worst thing about being single?
Well, for me, waiting, I've been able to accomplish different things. I don't have to, say what's up to like a significant other right now. I could just go about my business, and that's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. The worst part is you accomplish something and it's just your family and friends that you've known for years that congratulate you. You kind of want to share that with somebody special.
So your friends and family are not special?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they are special, but as far as someone as a significant other is special. It's a different kind of special. There's the agape love and the other loves. The family is the agape love. So, that's God's love. But that's good to have that circle of friends. But when you make major accomplishments in life, you would like to be married, or you would like to have someone, your girlfriend or whatever, to be there with you when you make these big giant accomplishments.
I would have to agree with Reggie. Yes, you accomplish so much and you have this undivided attention to like all of your interests and all the things that you want to do and all the projects you want to work on. So I absolutely love that part. For me, it's more of the companionship. I would say, just, having someone, I guess, to come along with you. I agree with Reggie. Yeah. Having someone to come along with you. Yes, family's important, but it's just that one piece. But I do agree that it's just getting to build and see everything that you're working on grow and develop. It's amazing, and there's nobody else to be, that hold you accountable really to say, oh, I'm going out. If I want to stay out late, I can stay out late. If I want to go buy the pair of shoes, I don't really have to get permission to do so. So I love that part.
So I'm hearing freedom is one of the best things. I'm hearing just not having to have accountability. You can if you decide that you want to do something, you can. But on the other hand, there is just that lack of having someone that you can come home to and share those accomplishments and achievements. How about you, Matt? What are you thinking in terms of exciting versus non-exciting?
Oh, for me, I don't know. I might be. I really enjoy being single. Not that I would not like being married, but I really enjoy it. I've just taken it. I'm taking the time to really find the career that I need to go and use my giftings and really hone my skills. And just running 100% in that and not really looking back. And I think that we mentioned the freedom, rather I don't have to if there's an acting role that comes across my desk and it's, hey, can you fly out to Iceland for 3 months and film? Sure. I don't have to hey, honey, can I fly out to Iceland for 3 months and film a movie with, I don't have to do that. So I mean, that freedom, and I'm an only child, so I'm an independent. I have an independent streak like a mile long. So I mean, I've always been comfortable being by myself. So I mean, like I really, I mean, it does get lonely at times, but I really, honestly, the thing that's been the hardest for me is just the constant. I mean, just the pestering of why I'm still single, because I mean, I it doesn't really bother me. I mean, not that I don't like the companionship, but I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I know not everyone's like that, but I don't like people getting in my business like that. I'm a pretty independent guy. Like, I can take care of myself. I can support myself. I have my own, career. And so like, for me, it doesn't bother me, but I would like to share big accomplishments of mine with someone that's like, I have a lot of friends and my parents are there and they always support me, but I would like a wife to support me in that. Like, hey, honey, look what I did. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I would like to hear that. But I mean, I don't know. The independence it's hard to top it, honestly. That's just me.
Yeah, I think you guys have brought up some very good points in terms of like the freedom. I mean, the Bible talks about that, right? That when you are single, then you don't have to have a divided mindset. Like, you're not trying to please your husband or your wife as well as trying to get these other things done. You really can just be focused and go hard at everything that you intend to. So I feel like that's one of the things that I appreciate about being unmarried. Also, just like you can, there's this saying like it's like I can do battle by myself. Like you can, if it's time to struggle, like you can struggle all you want. You can make the sacrifices that you need to, without having to worry. Like, oh man, I didn't cook tonight, or I didn't. I don't know, whatever it is, whatever sacrifices that you need to make, you can do it and not have to worry about like the quality of life with somebody else. It's really just about what works for you. Whereas when you do include another person, now you have to worry about accommodating them. For me, the worst thing about being single, I guess, is I think maybe. Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Matt, that it's more so the pressures that people try to put on you, and it's, all the questions, it's the society that kind of has these expectations that by the time you reach this age, you're supposed to have, a husband or a wife or, 3 children and all of this stuff. And so when you don't see yourself there, then it's kind of like, oh, am I behind? Am I, But when you stop to think about it and you follow your own timeline, I think there is something positive that you can be able to see, like, well, I'm actually okay. Some people, however, when they find like that this dating process, this waiting process is taking quite a while, they resume to like, you know what, I'm just gonna date myself. What are your thoughts on that? On dating yourself?
Well, the first time you may go out to dinner or to watch a movie by yourself, I guess you could say that's kind of cute. But then after like the 5th, 6th time doing that, you become the only person in a long-term relationship. And you can love yourself. You can treat yourself right. But then after a while, it becomes kind of like a game, because Adam did that for a while. And God was like, yo, I need to give you a helpmate. Because God could provide everything for Adam. It was an unfallen world. He was a perfect creation. He was one of God's bros. God could just say, hey, Adam, need you to name all the animals. Adam's like, sure. Adam did all the work. He did all the stuff he needed to do. But yet still, God was like, yo, there's still somebody I need to get for you, Adam. Because all the animals got partners, you don't. So at some point, it's natural, to go out and find someone who will be eventually your helpmate.
think there's anything wrong with dating yourself. I think some people maybe need the time to date themselves, maybe to heal from relationships, or just to kind of just take a time out and just really get to know themselves, find their identity. I think it's a good thing. I think single people should. I do think that, once one is ready, they should put themselves out there. But I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's a great thing, because you can learn to just enjoy, time to yourself, because there are going to be times where you're just not going to be around people, and, you have yourself, you have your thoughts, and we have to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thought of dating myself seems very narcissistic. I don't. Maybe it's just the wording. Because I do think it should take time to heal and to do all that. So I mean, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a guy. Maybe it's just me as a guy. But I'm like, I don't want to date myself. That sounds weird. But I definitely do enjoy time by myself, where I can, if I want to read a book, I can read a book, watch a movie, or whatever. Just take a nap. Whatever it is. So I do enjoy. But like Reggie said, I've lived with myself for 30 years. I'm kind of bored of myself, being by myself sometimes, Like I said, I am very independent, and being very independent as an only child, you're by yourself a lot. So, for me, if I do that long enough, I'll just start talking to myself and having carry on conversations, and nobody wants to see that. I don't want to.
Can you imagine having an argument? Matthew, can you imagine having an argument with yourself?
I can't say that I haven't done that. If I'm mad enough,
No, like that's a real thing. Like people do that.
I think I've already done enough of that.
I have heard that if you don't talk to yourself, then you're crazy. So, is it a woman thing? Because I hear the guys are like, that's weird, but us females were like, that's all right. Like, they ain't nothing wrong with it. Because like me, the way I look at like dating yourself is not necessarily like where you are, I don't know, you're not necessarily like pushing people away, but I agree with what Amber said, that it really could be a time of like gaining self-awareness, gaining insight to, who you are, what you like, getting that healing if you have been in, a bad or toxic relationship, just taking time to really get in tune with treating yourself how you should have been treated, and I like to take myself out on dates, because, I always say, like, if you set the standard high or the bar high, then it's not gonna be, like, if somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, how about I take you out for a nice dinner? It's not gonna be like, sweep you off your feet, because sometimes that's what happens. A lot of females, they get swept off their feet because somebody with a good job, comes and like throws money at them, and they're like, oh yeah, or somebody tells them nice things, affirms them, gives them positive affirmations. Hey, you're beautiful, you're kind, you're intelligent, you're smart. I feel like we should be able to do that for ourselves, so that when that comes to you, you don't, not that you're not gonna be receive it. You can receive it, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be something where you're thirsty, and you're like, oh, I never heard this before. Really? You think I'm a good person? No, like, build that self-esteem and self-awareness of who you are, and self-affirmation of your worth and your value, and just get in the habit of treating yourself. It's self-care really.
I want to say that as men, we don't really get into the topic of self-care. That's not really considered a strong point for men. With men, we like to take care of ourselves in a moment of strength and power, to say that we don't need self-care. We'll just we'll just grin and bear it. We can take whatever it is. Yeah. But unfortunately, not everyone is born Thor or Superman or whatever strong guy you want to use. Men, we have to find a way to we call it bettering ourselves. But unfortunately, with men, it's usually seen as a negative, like we're selfish. If we try to do stuff like that. So if you say, "Oh, I'm trying to better myself," you're like, "Oh, you're just trying to get over," something like that. But as men, we do have to learn to do self-care, because how many suicidal shooters do we see in the news who didn't take that self-care? Because I'll just tell you this: a lot of the shooters, a lot of the stabbers, whatever weapon they're using, a lot of them have relationship problems. And as soon as their relationship went to the fire, so did their mental stability, and they just went crazy, because they was like, "Oh, I have nothing to live for now, and I'm angry at the world." Well, like they said about I think it's Elijah, sit down, take a nap, eat a snack, just calm down. Basically sit down, chill, review, and reflect. One key word with men is to get to that point. What you're saying, we like to say reflect on where and how you got to this point. And in that moment of reflection, you get to grow a little bit. One universal word between the genders is growth. And when you grow, you become stronger, become wiser, you become more able-bodied. Because some of us out here, even men, are not as strong as we would like to think we are.
Those are really good points. I like that. So for men, it's more semantics. It's not dating yourself, it's bettering yourself. Okay. I get that. And I think that's a good point that you bring up, that, I guess I haven't heard a lot of men talk about self-care. And you're right that a lot of issues come out of people not having that reflection time and not taking time to find that esteem within themselves. I think that part of the things that we should be doing as we're single is learning how to affirm ourselves and learning how to love ourselves and affirm our value. Because like you're saying, if you are this kind of person who depends on validation from other people, what happens when you don't get that, right? Like if you make somebody your everything and they don't give that to you, you've lost everything. So it's really important to take time to develop that for yourself, whether you want to call it bettering or dating, but it's super important. I don't know if you guys wanted to add anything else to that.
Yeah, I would just say, like, as a guy, you're seen as weak, but also you just don't really have the time. I mean, you're always expected to work. You're always expected to provide. And if you take time, man, I gotta go take a week off and go to the mountains and have a week to contemplate and be like, the bills aren't going to be paid. You got to work this many hours a week to make this kind of money. And so a guy's just going to be like, well, I'm just going to grin and bear it and just suffer. And, and a lot of people.
If you're single, who are you providing for?
Well, the thing is you already have that mindset as a guy, as a single guy. Like, you already have that mindset because you're raised to be, as a Christian guy, I'll say as a Christian guy, because I was raised as a Christian guy. Even as a single guy, you're raised to think married guy in those senses, even as a single guy. Like, you just got to, you're preparing to provide for somebody. So even as a single guy, there's no room really for us. Like, I mean, there kind of is, but you're already ingrained to be like, yeah, but you can't take time off, because then, even as a single person, the pressure is always there to like, when are you going to get married? So you got to save up to get married. So if you take time off too long, now you're behind the 8 ball. Plus, just life's hard. It's 2020. Not everyone's economic situation is good. So guys we're wired to work, and we're not wired to relax. And if we relax too long, there's the fear of, am I going to lose my job, or am I going to, guys can think that way, but ultimately it's just like men, we covered up with other ways. We don't know how to self-care. Our self-care is, let's go to porn, let's go to alcohol, let's go to other things. That's work is a big one. So they're either addicted to substance, sex, or work. And so a lot of guys, they like to, we find our fulfillment in what we get accomplished. Another thing. So if we always have to do something and provide something. Like we always have to provide value or provide for somebody, even if it's ourselves or our future family. So we always have to, there's that provision. God wired us to provide and to work. So even if we're not married, we're kind of in the mindset of one day I'm going to. So let me get the habit of doing that. So we're always providing for somebody, even and if you're in so there's always that mindset, even though you might not be in it yet. And that doesn't get talked about a lot because a lot of guys are perceived to not want to be in a relationship, but a lot of guys do. And they just no one asks them, and a guy doesn't really give his opinion without being asked. So if you want to know what a guy thinks, just ask him. Me and Reggie told you, we'll tell you, but we're not gonna just we're not as, our emotions we are emotional when it comes to fulfillment. We're not emotional just for the sake of emotion. Our emotion comes out in our work, not in our emotions. Hopefully that makes sense. I think Reggie knows what I'm talking about, but a man looks at a woman's emotion and is like, oh, she's just crying at the drop of a hat, whereas a guy will watch the Super Bowl and see men crying. Men do have emotion. And we do want to take care of ourselves, but we're not taught that. We don't know how to do it. And our way of taking care of ourselves is, I'm just going to get a beer and then that's it. There's no deep, we're not told how to go deep into ourselves, and we don't know how to take time for stuff. That's it's a long answer to a short question, but
a lot of that comes from the way that we interpret how Adam worked before he got married. However, Jesus is the new Adam, and what did Jesus do when he got overwhelmed? He went back to the Mount of Olives. Some people call that his bat cave. What people may not know is that, and this is a fun fact, Superman has his own bat cave. He calls it the Fortress of Solitude. But the Fortress of Solitude is different from the bat cave because the bat cave is located in the hills of Gotham City, right outside of town, nearby, whereas the Fortress of Solitude is in the middle of the Arctic. Only Superman or someone like him can go up to his Fortress of Solitude. And when he's there, he's the only one there. He gets to kind of calm down, kind of shield himself from the world, and just kind of rejuvenate. Well, like Jesus and like Superman, some guys, we need our man caves. We need our little spaces to ourselves where we can just kind of think and breathe and exist so that we can contemplate what's the next step, or just not even worry about the next step. Just reflect on the last step and see what we've accomplished. The military, the military branch of the government have war rooms. War rooms are there so you can make plans and you can make decisions that's going to affect everyone. So, and we have, as president, we have the Oval Office, and, these are all space, or just the office itself. These are all spaces that allow us to evaluate and think and study ourselves and see what we have and what we don't have. But unfortunately, a lot of guys do not have that space. They do not have that time. They do not have that fortitude, and they end up burning out and sometimes lashing out.